What's in your tool roll?
This is pretty much the worst video ever made.
Napoleon, like anyone can even know that.
Hello my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Today we're going to go over what I carry in my regular tool roll. I use this most of the time on my dirt bike, but if I'm going to be taking a long street bike trip, I'll bring this along as well. So a friend of mine is trying to put together a tool roll, and I promised him I would make this video, and I figured it would be good to share. So let's get started on it. I'm also trying out my light here, so let's see if this is going to help any. I still have to get some work done on that thing. All right, so this is the tool roll I carry when I'm riding my dirt bike. I really should have brought out my scale to weigh it, but I'm not really overly concerned with the weight of the tools so much because they're important for me to have. So I have this Wolfman luggage tool roll I've had for quite a while. And it opens up like this. There we go. So I have axle wrenches, and I carry a variety of different ones because I have a variety of different bikes, and I would say 9 times out of 10 I'm using this tool roll for other people. It's just the kind of guy I am. So I've picked these up over the years, some cheaper axle wrenches. I just like them because they have different sizes on them. I think this one is multi, I forget how that works exactly, but a 22, 17, 24, or 27, 17, 24, and I dug out this 32 that I had because that fits my KTM. I also have some wrenches. I bought a set of these Husky shorty wrenches just because a little bit less room in here. Take up a little bit less room, and I have a 13, 14, a 12, a 10, and an 8, and that covers the majority of stuff that I need. You can also use this 17 here, and then for other things I have this adjustable wrench. I also have this little needle nose vice grip. Remember, I needed a vice grip at one point, so I added that in there, and that's come in handy multiple times. I have a T-handle, 1/4 inch drive T-handle, and around it you can see I've wrapped some duct tape. Can't go wrong with duct tape. This little multi-tool thing here, I don't know if you can read it there, but that is from Tusk. That's Rocky Mountain ATV brand. It's their house brand of tools. And on that it has, I think, a 6, a 5, and a 4 Allen wrench. It has a Phillips screwdriver. It has a straight slot screwdriver, and there's one Torx bit on there. Now, if you have Torx bit, maybe it doesn't. No, that's the Phillips screwdriver. I guess it doesn't have Torx. I'm sorry, I lied. So it has a bigger Phillips and a smaller Phillips and a straight slot. This is coming in handy quite often. Now you could just carry individual Allen wrenches if you want. It's not bad, but I like this. It doesn't get lost. Whereas those might go flying everywhere. I also have some various items in here. You can see different zip ties. That's a fuel line for a fuel injected bike. I've used that for multiple things like draining fuel, draining oil, things like that. Metal hose clamps. These work great for something hot. Zip ties, not going to work. These work great for holding an exhaust on if it breaks a bracket. I've done a lot of stuff with hose clamps. They're just like a heavy-duty zip tie, kind of. This side has just some various stuff in this little pocket. So I made a little jumper wire here. It has an alligator clip and just a piece of wire. You can do some basic troubleshooting with that. You know, you could hook that up to the positive lead on your battery. You cut that with a pocket knife, and you can jump some power around or ground or something. You could cut this in half and do both. Just kind of helpful. A couple lengths of safety wire, kind of the same thing as the hose clamps. These items are for tires here. This is to pull a valve stem through when you're changing a tire. Sometimes they're really tricky to get, so you feed that through the hole, pull the core out of the tube, and you can thread that in. It also has a tool on the end to take the valve core out, but you can feed that through the tube and then kind of help feed it through. This is what's known as a bead buddy. It's kind of a small one. They make a larger one that you can bring along if you like, but this helps to keep the tire down into the center when you're trying to lever on a new tire or change a tube. There is a plastic valve core tool. These things I don't have a lot of luck with, but better to have it than not. I should probably throw an extra valve core in here as well if I don't have one. And there's some various fuses in here. I have 2 of the larger plastic ones and 2 of the smaller ones. I have a spare master link. The thing with these are that I think this one's a DID for DID chain. It might not work on another brand of chain. You know, if you have a Regina chain or whatever the other brands are, this may or may not fit, but I have that one. There's some sockets for use on the T-handle. I think I have a 14, a 13, a 12, a 10, and an 8. And some various hardware, bolts, washers. I've used a lot of these. I always try to remember to replace whatever I take out of here, but nice to have. And I also have a card with my name and my phone number on it right there in case I lose my tool roll, because I've done that before. I had a really nice setup tool roll before and I lost it, unfortunately. I had it in a tool bag on the back of the bike, and the bag, either I left it open or it ripped open, I can't remember what, but I lost it. So I always hope that if someone finds it, that they will give me a call. So that's in there. And I like using this because you got this little area right here. You can put nuts and bolts here. But that's what I use. I also have my tire kit, which has a tube, and my tire irons. So I highly recommend that you bring something along to at least get a tire off, because getting a flat is no reason to be stuck somewhere. But with this, I've taken a lot of stuff apart. I like to try to occasionally use this to work on the bike. That way, if I find out that I need something, like on this KTM, I haven't had that bike for a terribly long time, but some bikes just use different fasteners. I know looking at it right now, I maybe have to throw in a smaller Allen wrench. I'll have to take a look at that. If that's the case, maybe I'll just head over to a discount tool store and buy a cheapo set and just throw whatever I need in here. And that's what I recommend. You can buy a ready-made tool kit, but it's probably going to be pretty expensive. Putting it together like this is pretty cheap. Like I said, you can buy a little small assorted wrench set. Most of this stuff is just cheapy stuff. I think I bought the set of the crescent wrenches. Maybe it had 2 of these or whatever, so I just threw the other ones in there, just bring the small one along. But there you have it. If your motorcycle comes with a specific toolkit from the factory, open that thing up and take a look at it. Most of those tools are not very good, but it's better than nothing. But I highly recommend that you take a look at what it takes to at least get your wheels off and your tank and your seat off. If you can get that far, you can troubleshoot a lot of stuff. And hopefully, just like me, you end up using your tools to help other people rather than helping yourself, because, you know, I enjoy helping people. I don't enjoy being stranded. So if you have any input as to what you run in your toolkit, and maybe you think I should add to mine, throw it down in the comments section. I'd appreciate getting some input. And comment, like, and of course subscribe, all that stuff. All right, thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.